Hey, welcome back. I was trying to. Oh, why am I taking screenshots? Sorry. Anyways, I was trying to make a little build because we're kind of outgrowing this area, and I'm gonna set up an actual, like, more of a permanent base area thingy. And I started to build it and got quite frustrated with the lack of resources that I had. Like, I was trying to make concrete, and there's no way. Like before in All the Mods 10, when you have Evil Craft, you can at least use the Eternal Water Bucket to like craft the things. But I couldn't like easily craft concrete, hydrate the powder into normal concrete. You take a look at white concrete, for example, like doing it one bucket at a time that's not gonna work. There is the fluid tank. You can, I don't know. I mean, there's like a bunch of like not really great solutions. Create can do certain things. Anyways, nothing good in my opinion. So I thought, why don't I take a moment, another episode, instead of building, we can build up our infrastructure a bit and produce things like glass, because I was running out of glass also. Do a little bit of mystical agriculture so we can get the water essence. That's going to be very nice. So I just want to spend some time to set up all those things. And as you can see, I cleared out these two areas and where the farm was. And we're going to utilize these to have some resources being produced. That way I don't run into that issue in the future. But actually, before we get into that, do you see the new fiery particle effects on that? I can't believe I didn't like remember about this in the previous episode. I wish I did. But anyways, thank you guys in the comments for letting me know. You can actually put the, what is it called? The smelting upgrade, this thing. The smelter upgrade inside of your pickaxes, and as you mine, as they mine all of these clusters, they're gonna give you the resources directly, which is insane. And this has been on for, oh God, like literally an hour. I don't even, definitely for sure less than 2 hours. We have 250,000 diamonds and insane things. But anyways, yeah. So these pickaxes, I put the smelting upgrade on there. Where does it show? The auto smelter you see is green. And now as they come in, they're already smelted in their ingot forms. It doesn't affect the ancient debris one because you can't smelt that, obviously. And then I got rid of the furnaces. So this is super cool. And if we ever wanted to expand this setup, it's really easy to do that because you can just put another row of GeOres just on the side. And then you go in here and then you expand the range in whatever direction it is by 1, and then it'll cover all of those. And then you can put your other set of boosted growth accelerators on this side. So you'll have growth accelerator, GeOre, growth accelerator, GeOre, growth accelerator, so on and so forth. So you can make like a nice farm that way. But yeah, that's that. And then one other thing is I made a bunch more of these, or 8 of these Omega tier upgrades. They're actually pretty cheap. I keep being amazed at like how cheap this is. But we're gonna upgrade our storage, these guys. So then we won't have issues like whatever's going on here with all that sand. So we can replace that. And now all the sand can stack up to a maximum integer value, which is super cool, especially for this thing. For this chest. Look at that. Except for these stupid carrots from productive farming. This really annoys me. Productive farming gives like different values and stuff for your carrots, or like farming things. And it makes them not stack, which also makes me go crazy. Alright, that is all done. Let's maybe start with mystical agriculture. So I'm gonna build a farm over here. I'm gonna move it from this to here. And let me show you something cool with these building gadgets. If you didn't know, you can link your building gadget to your applied energistics system by just putting it in here inside of your wireless access point. And when I hold shift, you can now see it's bound to those coordinates in the overworld. So now this is actually bound right there to our applied energistics, and it can pull things from there. So I'm going to shift right click on this grass, and I have no grass or dirt in my inventory. But if I go over here and do a 9x9 surface, and turn fuzzy on, I can replace this whole thing with dirt. And it's that easy. That fox always gets me. All right, and then down here, we're gonna do the same exact trick we did before, like that, and we'll grab a piece of glowstone. Here we go. Now we need water over here. And if we take a look at our hoe from the Eclipse hoe, this is bound to our storage. So when we hoe this dirt, anything that grows on here will get automatically harvested and automatically deposited into our storage controller. So we don't actually have to like set down a pylon or like worry about some sort of collection or anything. This is going to take care of it for us. If you hold the tilde to use Ultimine to hoe everything, it doesn't turn it into the Shadow Pulse soil. So I'm going to have to pick these guys up. All right, so I got all these guys turned into the Shadow Pulse soil, but we're actually not going to need every single one of them because we will be using those boosted growth accelerators. So I'll have to make a bunch more of these out of Fluix, which is not ideal. I don't know exactly how many of these boosted growth accelerators I'll need, but I have 19 for now. So we're going to put this in a checkerboard pattern. That's wrong. Like so. You can fill out the whole thing, and you can even go one outside. Like let's say you have a dirt plot here that you're going to be planting. You can put one of these growth accelerators on the outside too. It doesn't have to be within the 9x9. Because the water won't be able to hydrate farmland past that, but the growth accelerator will still be able to accelerate the growth on that. So now that these guys, I placed them down, you can see underneath it turned into dirt, and we can just vein mine it like that. And use Super Factory Manager cables underneath. And we'll just do this to power them. It'll be easy. You cannot use the crystal resonance generators on these guys. They use more power than what those guys can provide. But you can do it however you want. You can just hook everything up with applied energy 6 cable and just put an energy acceptor down. That will work as well. All right, we're going to put our manager down somewhere. Don't matter. And then our ender cell as well. And simple as hold the labels by holding shift. And then here is the accelerators all labeled. And the ender cell. So this should be set up. Now they're all going. And let's go ahead and grab seeds, like just normal seeds. See, like these things. Oh man, I don't like it. But there are the seeds. Let's see how fast these go. Is it not working? No way. We place a normal dirt down. Dang it, that is so disappointing. So the normal dirt grows it, but this one does not. It does? Oh, it might not have enough light. Interesting. Well, I don't know what made it not work, but it's working now. Light overlays. It looks fine. Now you can see that guy's just growing and getting auto-harvested. And if we take a look in here, you can see the wheat is just going in there, along with the seeds. So that is all set up. Let's make some mystical agriculture seeds. I'm not going to be relying too heavily on mystical agriculture, but there are a few things I really like the dye essence, for example. So this will allow us to just have dye essence, and then we can make any kind of dye we ever want, which is very, very nice. Same thing with like the wood essence, as well as the nature essence. The nature essence is really good. So that'll allow us to make like different kinds of saplings and foods and mushrooms and all that stuff. So I do want to get some of those guys set up, and we don't need a ton. I only have 300 Inferium essence, which will honestly probably be okay. And we do have some prosperity shards, and those are from sifting soul sand. So let's make some seed bases. Probably 10 will be enough. And let's go ahead and set up the infusion altar. So we need the infusion altar and 8 pedestals that will go around. So let's put this guy in the center with these pedestals. Shows you the little outline for him. And we can open that up. Can you guys guess it? I'm going to use Super Factory Manager. And we do need a lever to be able to turn this system on and off. And the barrel, I guess I can just put over here. And I am going to hide my manager block down here. All right, so those guys are all hooked up on the bottom, and let me grab the code for this. Right, here it is. We are going to grab the seed base from the barrel and keep one of those to the altar. And something you may not know about the infusion altar is if you just pull from the bottom side of it, it only pulls the finished crafting result. So when you first put it in there, the seed base, it's if you pull from the bottom side, it's not going to grab that. So that's why we can just do that. You don't have to filter it. And then we'll put the essences on the pedestals named essence, and then the rest of the items, we'll put that on the item pedestals. It'll be 4 and 4. So we pull the labels for that. Here we have the item pedestals, so I'm going to tag 4 of those with that, and then the other 4 will be essence. And we have the barrel right there, and the altar over there. Don't forget to push your labels. Now, this should be all set up. And whatever we throw in here is going to get crafted into the seeds that we need. I can just leave the seed bases in there, and you can see one of them disappeared in there. We are going to turn the lever on, and let's go ahead and take a look at dye essence, for example, or dye seeds. All right, so here's 4 of those agglomeratios for the dyes, and we're going to need the prudentium essence. So let's make some infusion crystals. All right, and I can just toss these in there, and they're going to go inside of the thing, automatically craft, and come back. Now we can grow these dye seeds, like here, for example, and they get automatically harvested. This seems kind of slow to me. I wonder if we use regular growth accelerators. Definitely seems slower. How about red fertilizer on normal? So if we put down red fertilizer, that grows much faster. So now these guys are giving me the accelerator conflict. So see, I don't know how that thing works. Yeah, the red fertilizer seems to be growing faster for sure. But then we have to harvest it, so I don't know. I think for now I'm just going to stick with the Just Dire Things one. Like so. Even though we can't red fertilizer the Shadow Pulse Scoop. But anyways, let's make some more seeds. This is hilarious. It automatically harvests the pumpkins. All right, so I've got everything I need for now. So these are all the glommer ratios for the different things, as well as each tier of the essence that is required. Something to note when you're making these higher tier essences, there is the tiered infusion crystals. So for example, if you're making the Imperium ones, you're going to need to use at least a tertium infusion crystal or a master one. So you do have to upgrade your crystals as you kind of go. But if you can see, I don't want to mix my essences at different essence tiers in this barrel, but if I put all of the ones that require Inferium, you can see it will automatically craft those just fine. And then once that's done, I could put all of these guys in. So as soon as that disappears, the next set can go in. All right, that gives me all of these things that I can plant. I don't know why that sometimes gives you a conflict and other times it doesn't. I put this one here. All right, with just a few of those, these guys should all be doing pretty good. All right, now if we want any kind of dye, let's say, I don't know, whatever, black dye, we can just use the essences to craft. And we're getting a decent amount of those. I don't need to really speed this up any faster, I don't think. This will do for us for now. You know what? I'm actually going to do dirt seeds also, like dirt and stone and wood. I'll show you guys how I build these little platforms. It's pretty easy. You knock out a 3 thing in the middle, and then it's 5 blocks here. And you put 1 gap in between each one, like this. And we're going to grab our construction stick and take those things. And you can put it in your offhand and then build out 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, I ran out. Then I take the other kind of block and I put that in my offhand, and then we go like that on the sides, and that's pretty much it. Quick, very quick platform. So over here, we're going to set up a few things like sand, gravel. Like I know we have them. We don't have it here, but we're making it with our things. I'm going to use the mechanism crushers to do this. I did a similar thing in my No Bees series, if you guys saw. So I'm going to make all those things, as well as utilize a few of the extractors from XyCraft. We haven't used these yet, so nice to get these guys going too. We have stone and cobblestone going with these guys, so I don't need any more of those. We also have the sky steel and the obsidian and all that. So those guys are set. Let's worry about sand, glass, and gravel. I am going to be utilizing mechanism crushers for these, so let's grab some buckets of lava. All right, I do have 5 basic crushers. That should probably be okay. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is generate some cobblestone, of course. So we need our generator. So we have a netherite tier 1. That'll work pretty good. And I guess we can use those singularity tanks for this one. So just so you guys can see that that also works. Doesn't really make a difference. So there's our cobble gen. We'll put the tanks on either side. And we can fill this with water and lava. And this will start producing cobblestone. So there's the cobble. And we can just use a drawer for this. So we've got some Super Factory Manager cables that we're going to use. So we need gravel and sand and glass. So I'll put these guys over here, and then basically what's going to happen is this is going to get cobblestone and crush it down into gravel. So that's going to be our gravel, and we'll just put this in our system. Next, we're going to get gravel, or we're going to get cobblestone in here. It's going to turn it into gravel. And then the gravel is going to get pushed out to the crusher in the front, and this will create sand. And then this one, the same thing, is going to create more sand, and then we just need to smelt it. So here's an aluminium furnace that we also need to power. We're going to have to power all these guys. And then the side configurations for these, I'm going to have input be the top for the ones in the back. And then the front is going to be output. So we'll just do output and turn auto eject on, and I'll just let these machines handle that. And then same thing for this one. So the top is going to be input, and then the front is going to be output, auto eject on. And this guy in the middle is going to receive from the back. So back's going to be input, and then front, oops, not that one. The front will be output, auto eject on. And we're just going to put some drawers in front of all of these. Just like that. Or should we put it on top? Let's try the top. So over here we can put our Super Factory Manager. And I would have used, if I didn't need to put cobblestone in all three of these, I would have just used the Just Dire Things energy transmitter. And then that would get everything in this area. That would have been easier. But I guess this also works. So we're going to put power in all the machines over here, and then we're going to output 64 cobblestone to each of the cobblestone crushers. And then everything should start working. There's the furnace, the ender cell I don't have yet. I can just go over there. The crusher cobble are going to be the back three. And then the rest of these guys will be the other crushers. Then we have the cobble drawer over there. So now, when I push those in, I didn't define a side for those. Top side. By the way, okay, let me get rid of this. So you can see how this one, you see this little warning appear. And when you hover your mouse over the disk, it's going to say the mechanism blocks are read-only when no side is specified. So that means you can't insert to them from the null direction. And we define top side over here, for example. And when you click that, now it's going to start working. Oh God. Basically what I was trying to say is if you don't have those sides set for mechanism like this one, the top is the, not that one, this guy. The top is the input output, right? You can turn this one to none. And now it's going to tell you that that doesn't agree with the statement. You can shift click on this and Super Factory Manager will actually set the side input for you. So now this turned into an input. Obviously we want it to be on input output, so you can also push to the top, but that's the crazy part about Super Factory Manager is it will literally set the side configuration for your mechanism blocks. All right, so we have gravel, sand, and glass automated. And we do want to light up this area. Is this the center block? All right, so those guys are done. I do want to also do silicon. If we crush sand, we're going to get silicon. So we want to do the same thing again, and we're going to have... We're going to need 3 more crushers. Here are the other 3 crushers we can put down. And immediately give them the, whatever you call it, muffling upgrades. And there's the drawer. Auto eject will be on, and then it's going to accept from the back the input, and then it's going to auto output to the front. And mechanism actually has this thing, the configuration card, and this will allow you to shift right click and then right click to paste that. So this one is going to be set up the same way, but we're going to have to change it a little bit. We're going to turn off auto eject, and this is actually going to receive from the back, input from the back, and then output to the front. And then this guy is going to take the input from the top and output to the front. Now we just label these guys. So we've got crusher, crusher, oops, and crusher cobble. And this should start working. All right, there's silicon. So we got gravel, sand, glass, silicon. Let's do dirt next. I guess I do have the dirt seeds that we're getting from there. But since I said it, might as well set it up. This dirt you can get from a drying basin. So I'm going to make a drying basin and we're going to use the extractor. So about right over here, we're going to put the drying basin and then the extractor, or the drawer can go on top. Or should we do it at the same level? Oops. So here will be the drying basin. Come on. And we've got our thing over there. We're going to put a puller upgrade in here. That's going to be from the down direction. And we actually want to put some dirt in here. That way it doesn't pull any of the mud. So it can only pull dirt from the bottom over here. And then underneath this guy, we're going to put the extractor facing up into it. And let's see what we need for mud. By the way, let me teach you guys how this works. You know how sometimes when you build the extractor, it doesn't work and you have to flip it upside down and people are like, oh, the picture in JEI is upside down. The picture is not actually wrong. It's just incredibly confusing. These pictures are all in the same orientation. And then you have to refer to the picture on the side to like figure out what orientation you can actually put the, what do you call it? Put the extractor in. So the green parts are actually the extractor and the white one is the target block underneath it. So this means if you have green all over, that means you can have the budding amethyst over here, and then you can have the extractor on top, on the sides. It doesn't matter. You can have it anywhere. But if you scroll over to one, like this one, for example, you can see this one has the white in the middle and the green on the bottom. That means the extractor has to be on the bottom. So we're going to have our end stone where this white one is, and then below it is going to be the extractor. So let me show you how this one will work, just so you guys can see. Okay, so this picture shows it's chorus, plant, end stone, and extractor, right? If you put, you can't even put chorus plant down if it's not on top of a thing. So that doesn't work. But now we're doing end stone, chorus plant, and if we put the extractor on the bottom, you can see that when those lights are glowing, that means it's working. So this is making chorus fruit right now. Let's take a look at another example that might be a little bit better. Anyways, the thing you just want to remember about this picture in JEI is don't look at the orientation of how the picture actually looks. You want to look at this little diagram. And the diagram, the white one is the target block that you have the extractor on, and then the green is what the extractor is. So if you check the orientation here, this is going to be the dragon egg, and then your extractor is going to be below the dragon egg. So that is the only orientation that it will work. But if it's something that is surrounded by the green one, then that means it could be in any orientation and it's going to work just fine. Like this dragon head, any orientation is fine for the dragon head. Speaking of that, let's set that up. So we can set the dragon head over here. How about we move it down one more? Put the extractor on top, and we can put a drawer here. That's going to give us dragon's breath. Let's go back to this one because we never finished setting up the mud. So we need this to make mud. I can just search over here. And that's going to need a piece of dirt and then a piece of water next to it, and any orientation works. So right below the extractor, we want there to be some dirt. And then we just need to put some water down. And I believe the water block, does this one work? It does. So you can use these water blocks from XyCraft instead of a water source. and it's going to work. So this is making mud, and then it's putting the mud inside of the drying basin, and then it's going to get dried up, and we're getting dirt. So you can see we have 3 already. All right, here's our dragon's breath also going. I'm going to also set up ice, and we'll put that in a compacting drawer, so we'll get all 3 different kinds of ice. We're going to need some blue ice, and I have this Emperor's Chalice, which is like an infinite water source. So we can put a bunch of water down anywhere, and then use the entropy manipulator. And we can shift right click on all these water source blocks to turn them into ice. And then if it's flowing, you can turn the flowing into snowballs. So that's how you can get snowballs and ice really easy. And you're just going to need some Silk Touch to grab that. So then we can turn the ice into packed ice, and then blue ice is what we need, I believe. Yeah, blue ice. And also the trader sells this, the Wandering Trader sometimes. So I have seen him before with it. I actually just killed him. I should have bought it, but anyways. We have our packed ice. We can put those guys away. And I guess just over here, let me see if this is going to break that extractor. No. So then we put this guy on top, and we need to waterlog this. And we can put the compacting drawer above it like so. Now, if I waterlog that, is it gonna flow away or will it stay? It's gonna flow away. Something you can do is use these corner strips, and you get these corner strip guys, and we can put that like that. It does take up this whole block space, but at least it keeps the thing neat and clean. And we're going to get ice. We are going to need 1 more ice, I guess, to set the compacting drawer. And we'll put that in the bottom right corner. So this is going to be ice. We have packed ice and blue ice. That's all going to go in there. I think that's all I'm going to do for now. We could set up 1 more for the dragon egg. So once we have a dragon egg, we've killed a dragon, we can set that guy up. But otherwise, I think this is going to do for now. So now we'll have those resources kind of available for us to go. And you can speed this up by just speeding up the machines like the crushers, because this is very, very slow, right? The extractors, the only way you can unfortunately speed them up is by making more of them. But I think that's going to do. So let's just use our linking tool. Well, first of all, I'm going to lock them all. So these guys should all be locked, and then we are just in range. So we are going to link all of these guys to the controller. So now if we check for ice, we're going to have packed ice, normal ice, blue ice. When we get that, the dirt is going to be there. The dragon's breath is going to be there. So nice. This is all set up, and it's going to make it much easier when I'm building. I am going to speed up these machines just a little bit. We're going to want the maximum efficiency upgrade, the energy upgrades from Mechanism. So I will put those. And then the speed upgrades, I guess we can do a couple of those. I'm not too worried about them. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I know nothing too exciting happened, but I just wanted to set these things up so that when we build now, I'm going to have all the resources and I don't have to come back and fuss around. If I'm making concrete, like I should have some white concrete powder. I can just put that around with our water essence. And ta-da, we have concrete that I can build with. So this is just some convenience things set up. I would suggest you do it too. It's going to be handy dandy. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and supporting this series. It's been tons of fun, and I will see you in the next one.